Hi,
Hi Atul, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you. So guys, this is Michelin star chef Atul Kochhar from London who will be cooking with us today. Hi Atul, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me on your show. How you been, Hina? How you
Great,
been?
thank
Can you
you.
hear me?
How's London?
London is good.
Yes, I can. How's London?
We, I was just listening to the live telecast from the Prime Minister. Things are not looking that great, though. The R rate is going down, but we have to be all have to be cautious and careful how we live our lives at the moment.
I
That's life at
think
the moment.
I was a friend in London was telling me that I think they are gonna be under lockdown for another 4 weeks, like complete lockdown. Is it true?
Yeah. I, I think it'll be 4 months rather than 4 weeks. I don't think we are going to go back to work until uh, Easter. That's for sure.
Wow, I was hoping to come there in July.
I'm sure you'll be okay to come that time. But for us living here, I think it's going to be tough. But how are
Yeah,
things in States?
I mean, it's fine. We just wear masks wherever we go, and that's about it.
Fantastic. And I've
Yeah,
been following you on your tour to Pakistan. That was amazing,
you
amazing.
like
You,
it?
you, you had such a good fun. It looks like it.
Yes, Pakistan is such a nice place. Too bad that I mean, tourism is not that great, but I hope one day people can go there from all over the world and see the natural beauty and the hospitality of the people. You know, it's the same everywhere, like India, Pakistan, the whole subcontinent is full of natural beauty and very nice people. So, and great food, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely, amazing food. And I think whenever you were showing glimpse of food, I was salivating. I thought, oh my god, I want to do this.
Food is amazing. Food is amazing. So, you know, my AirPods are kind of like dropping off. These are not mine. I'm actually loaning them from my son, and they don't fit me well, apparently.
Oh, you need a new one.
Yes, I need one of my own, of course.
Okay, I'm just
So,
so we were talking about I'm going to make the tamarind chutney. So I got my ingredients here. So what I did,
yeah, me
I
too.
took the block of tamarind, soaked it in water. You have it too, and and then I've taken the extract out. So you're already there. Okay, so shall we start going?
Yeah, we
I'm gonna
should.
flip the
I'm really
camera
excited.
here, and then I'll bring it up. So I have tamarind pulp, which has been extracted, and I strained it.
Is
So it's
that
a little watery at the moment.
is that all homemade? Yeah, I actually made homemade pulp as well.
Perfect. Well done.
Can we use store-bought pulp as well?
Again,
Do you think a store-bought pulp can be used as well?
you know that I guess I've never tried it. I'll be very honest. But the problem is sometimes they add a lot of ingredients to it, which I'm not sure whether we need it or not. And that's the reason
Right.
I shy away from using the canned one or the bottled one. So making the fresh tamarind extract from the block of tamarind is the best thing in my opinion. Do you know where the word tamarind came from?
No.
It's actually an Arabic word called Tamarind,
Oh, really?
which means dates of India.
Hmm.
So,
I like tamarind so much. You know, whenever I actually went to Mexico or Pakistan, I always buy those, you know, those tamarind candies they have.
yeah, yeah.
So the stove, the heat should be on low or medium or what?
We keep it at medium. So if you can see my pot here, which is bubbling away, and once you're ready, then I'll start adding the spices. Have you added the spices yet?
Oh, I actually started adding the
Oh,
spices.
well done. You are ahead of me. So I got coriander powder, which I've toasted. So that goes in.
That's how I made mine as well.
Yeah, perfect. And then we have soft powder, fennel powder, which again I toasted the fennel and then made the powder out of it. That goes in. toasted cumin. That goes in. And I got some salt, which we call ginger powder as well. That goes in.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit of black salt. And some black pepper.
Black pepper, how much?
Yeah, just about half a teaspoon or a teaspoon would do. And then add some normal salt as well. So I'll add about 2.5 teaspoons. So the quantity of tamarind I have is slightly more than what I've said in the recipe I sent to you. And then I also have some brown sugar or jaggery if you want to use it. Good. That goes in.
So how
Okay.
about the salt? How much salt is needed?
So the black salt I have used, Hannah, about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, depending on the quantity you're using.
Okay.
And the normal salt, I got about half a liter of tamarind pulp, so I've used 2 teaspoons for that.
So I think I should use just 1.
Yeah.
Stir, stir, stir.
Stir and let it boil. Let it come to simmer. And the moment you add spices, the sauce as it is becomes a little bit thicker, but the sugar will start working with tamarind and will make a thicker paste. And the best thing about this is the beauty of this, it comes around very quickly. You can finish this cooking in no time. In half an hour, you can have this sauce.
You can freeze it as well.
Oh, easily. But actually you don't need to freeze tamarind sauce. It has got such high acidity and so much sugar gone in. There is no chance of bacteria growth on this. So you're pretty safe to keep it at in the room temperature.
Have you tried using vinegar in this ever?
No, there's no need because tamarind has got very high acidity. So I don't bother with that vinegar.
Okay. So should I wait until it comes to a boil or?
Yeah, let it come to a boil.
Okay.
And then let it simmer, and then you and me can chat while it gets cooked.
Sure.
Have you got the samosas ready?
You know what? I actually have some homemade frozen samosas in the fridge. I might just try them.
Well done. Well done. I'm only teasing you.
Yeah, and I'm also making. I also have some fresh shami kebabs. The chutney tastes amazing with the shami kebabs too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So one of the things which I do often at my restaurant is I mix half and half mint chutney and half tamarind chutney to get a kind of minty tamarind, and that tastes amazing with shami kebab because lamb needs mint chutney anyway. But if you mix tamarind with it, it just comes to another level. And then just to get another spike on it, add, let's say you have about 100 ml of that chutney. To that you add 1 teaspoon of toasted cumin seeds, and also a little bit of 2-3 kind of seeds of black cardamom. Toast it together and then powder it and put it in there. It just spikes it to another level, and the flavor is just amazing.
You know what I do? I actually mix fresh cilantro.
Yeah.
You call it coriander there, fresh
Yeah.
coriander, and also like fresh mint to it,
Oh, wow.
in chutney. And sometimes I also add like 1 big tomato. So I mean, just like all those different flavors. It just depends on the food and whatever I have available in the fridge.
I've never tried tomatoes on this, but I'll definitely give a shot and see how it comes.
Actually,
never tried tomato with the tamarind.
Yes, that actually tastes really good. It has a different kick to it, just a different flavor.
Yeah. So what was the most wonderful? I'll ask 2 things. Wonderful memory from Pakistan when you visited this time, and how about the food? What was the best food you ate? Come on, make us salivate on it.
You know what? Actually, this time there was a new restaurant in town, which was actually a dhaba on a seaside in Kemari, and they only sold fresh seafood. So they have opened another branch in the like main city, and we
Yeah.
went there. It was on a rooftop in a hotel. And it was so cold. It was so cold. The food took forever because we were like almost like 50 people there, and we were waiting for everyone to join in before they would start cooking. Food took forever. Everyone was cold, hungry, and was getting a bit cranky. But guess what? That was the best seafood ever. It was
Wow.
spicy. It was fresh. It was just the best seafood. And the name was I think the name is Rashid Bengali. And I think he has a few videos on YouTube as well. And his mom, she makes all the masalas at home. So the masalas are made homemade by the mother, and then he
Wow.
brings everything to the restaurant, and then they cook, and it's just so busy. I wish I could have gone to the like main the first restaurant, like the dhaba,
Mm-hmm.
where you sit on the streets and eat the food. But I mean, I just didn't have that much time, but
And
that
these
was
people,
amazing.
they have it in the family that they have had these places all the time?
I think this is like, this is a new trend, I guess. Cooking with the family, because before it was just they would hire a chef and open up a restaurant, and that's how it used to work. Only a few high-end restaurants like French cuisine or Japanese cuisine, they were like sometimes they were owned by family, and they were family members cooking and doing everything, and they are still there, and the quality is amazing for so
Wow.
many years. But this concept like is coming in, and I really like it. It's like cooking is just. We all enjoy cooking and eating, especially we South Asians. We have this obsession with food.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like food has always been center of our lives. What can we do?
Yes, our lives revolve around food. I mean, I live in Kansas City, and I feel that there are not enough desi restaurants here, and it just makes me sad and cranky, and that's why I'm just cooking all the time at home. But there's like sometimes I just want to go out and eat.
Why don't you open one?
What, my everyone I know here, and even including my kids, they tell me that you should start doing this. I'm like, no, no, no. I don't have that much energy or time or anything. I cook for myself, and whenever I have guests over, which by the way I have a lot of guests from out of town and families coming in and staying with us, and I love hosting, so that's one thing I like. So this is boiling now. Should I just?
It is simmering away, and I just checked it in between that my sugar is a bit less, so I'm adding a little bit more sugar. But that's this is one thing that you can write a recipe, but you have to go by the taste. So it has
Mine
to be.
looks perfect. Just tasted mine. So leave it on low heat
Yeah,
now.
leave it on low and let it simmer. So it
That's
might
nice.
feel quite liquidy when it's hot, but when it cools down, it becomes quite thick because I think sugar solidifies, it caramelizes a bit with tamarind, and also at room temperature, sugar is slightly more solid, and tamarind comes around much bit thicker at the room temperature. So that's bound to happen. So what I do, I try
So when
to keep it in, once the sauce is still hot. If you have 2-3 clean jars like that, or bigger ones. So rather than putting everything in one, I try to put it in 2-3 different jars. So and you can open them one by one, because once you open, then you have to use them as quickly as you can. Though this is acid, so it will stay very long. Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a good one, but you have to finish that very quickly, eh?
yeah, I will. I just need to fry my kebabs, and it will be all gone.
Fantastic, fantastic. So what's your favorite food, Hina?
Oh gosh, I don't know, I'm just a typical desi. I would just say probably biryani.
Nothing wrong with biryani. It's a perfect meal.
Yes, and I remember that funny incident when I came to your restaurant for the first time. Remember, and I
Yes.
was like, I told the waiter that I need to see the chef. I need to meet Chef Atul. So, and then once we were done, almost done, Chef Atul comes in, and it's like he said, "Hi, how are you?" And then he asked, "Okay, what do you have to say about the food?" So I was like, the food was great, but I need to tell you something, that your biryani, it has like a lot of saffron in it, so it just killed it for me. So you're like, oh, okay, all right. Standing there, this Michelin star chef criticizing him on his biryani, and this guy is like, just taking it really nicely, and he's so humble. I mean, I was wondering that, I mean, if it was an Italian chef or something, he might just ban me from all his restaurants.
No, but the thing
If I
is,
tell him.
this is the beauty of our food, that we are such a large, we are subcontinent, right? So we don't have cuisine from one place, and the biryani is spread out from north, south, east, west. Same like Pakistan. I don't think there's only one biryani. There might be so many incarnations of biryani in Pakistan as well. So it's very hard to pin down and say, I have made the perfect biryani. So there's always opportunity to learn. So when I spoke to you, I smiled, but I learned that, there are people who may not like saffron that much, but there are people who say, saffron hai nahi isme, aapne kya kiya hai? Haldi dal di kya? So, there are two sides of the story.
Indian food, I mean, you guys use a lot of saffron, and it's like, it's like our Indian caviar. It's so expensive, but it's like, it's like in high-end cooking, most of these things have like that saffron taste and that saffron color. I also use it in my biryani, but like a little bit, because I mean,
no, you can't overdo it, because saffron can make food bitter as well. So you have to be very careful with that. So yes. one technique I learned from a Dutch farmer, because they grow a lot of saffron there, and I've gone to see the saffron farming, and he taught me. He said, what we do, we take the strands of saffron and we heat the pan, and then take it off the heat and put saffron in there, and just leave it for just literally less than a minute, 30 to 40 seconds, and then take it out, and either you put it in mortar pestle, or you put it just in between the sheets of two paper and rub it and make the powder. So the flavor of the saffron gets heightened, but also it mixes in whatever you're cooking, it mixes a lot better. And I've always used that. So even a tiny bit of saffron actually becomes so strong, so powerful, and possible that I overdid in your biryani when you came, and I apologize for it. But it's quite easy to get. If you do that step, you will see that your saffron goes and lasts you much longer and gives more beautiful flavor. It just heightens flavor.
It's your fault.
Say again?
I'm a super taster, so it's not your fault. So, I actually also use saffron in my biryani, but I actually dilute it with some rose water and some milk, and then I put it on the dum.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. That's a good way. And often the usual culprit with saffron is kevra water, the screw pine flour. That's used quite a lot. And if you wanted to bring in influence from Morocco and Algeria, then you can use orange water instead. And that also works incredibly well.
Yes, so that kevra water, I use it in my korma, and I mean, no korma is ever complete without that kevra water.
That's so true. So true. Rose water and the kevra water, those two things which you always need.
Yes, and do you know they have started using saffron in skincare as well now?
Yes. I think all the spices, all the essential oils, because they have, through distillation, they extract some of the flavor. So me as a cook, when I get, let's say cardamom, for example, so they would have extracted good 15-20% of the essence of cardamom before actually I get it to cook with it. Because that 20%, which is the pure cardamom oil, that goes into the beauty industry. So
where do you get? Tell us your secrets. Where do you get that?
No, so most of the spice growers, they actually sell. The process of selling spices is on 2-3 levels. So it goes on to one type of vendor who actually extracts that oil, and essential oil is sold to the beauty industry, and then the cardamom is passed over to the food industry people, and then it gets distributed. So there's a serious process behind it, and it's quite good. And I've seen it happen in Kerala. So clove oil and the cinnamon oil, you name it. Every spice that's grown out there, some extraction of essential oils takes place. And what I've been told, I've never tried very pure cardamom or cinnamon into my food, but what I've been told, as it is, it will be way too strong. So it's best to extract some of it and then pass it on to the retail industry. So
maybe dilute it with olive oil or avocado oil.
No, it's not diluted. No, sorry. In the beauty industry, I don't know what it will be diluted with. I never use any beauty products, so I wouldn't know. You can answer that better.
Okay, so yeah, you know, I when I went to Egypt, they also have some really nice ingredients, and they sell those really, what do you say? They just make in front of you those different oils and all these things like almond oil and stuff. So, and they were telling us, we took a tour, and they told us that like people from all those cosmetic companies from all over the world, they buy it from them. So almond oil is just great. I'm talking about skincare here again. Let's not go
Oh,
there.
that's
So
good.
let's
So
so
yeah,
yeah, let's
5 years ago, I came to States. I came to New York, and there was a massive conference of chefs from world over, and we were being paired with people from the perfume industry. So they were. It was conference of perfumists and flavorists. That was the name of the idea of the conference, and
sounds
it
good.
was very interesting to understand how people make perfumes. And I was in one of the companies called Jivadan, who actually is the backbone of most of the perfumes that we buy in the market. You name any big brand, actually they make it, and then they package it for that particular company or brand. And it was very interesting to have conversation with these perfumists, because uh, we think alike. As a chef, what I think, they also exactly think like that. But they think more in the beauty sense and more in the living sense. And I'm thinking very specifically about one particular dish and trying to extract flavors. So it was very interesting to see that how I would go about extracting the flavors from spices or all the ingredients I have, how I combine the flavors. And from his perspective there, he was thinking, okay, I've got the cardamom, I got the saffron, I got kevra water, I got this. How do I marry it? And then these are the hot flavors, or these are the hot smells. How do I cool it down with something like melon, leather? And they think from different angle altogether. And it was good to see that workshop, because I walked away thinking, wow, there is so much more beyond every ingredient. To be honest, we see it only in our own sphere, but there's other side of the sphere which other people see it. So it's very interesting. It's good to understand other people's work as well.
Ingredients are everything, I guess. Even when you are cooking at home, and if your ingredients are not up to the par, I mean, your food is not gonna taste the same.
No,
Ingredients.
that's true. That's true. You got to have the right ingredients. So this is also, you live in Kansas now, and you must have adapted to what ingredients you get there, because not necessarily you will get same bhindi and tinda what you get back home. You must have adjusted to courgette, and you said cilantro and many other things. So, and the flavors are different, because the terroir is different, the soil is different, the water is different, and whatever we eat, 90% is water anyway. So the flavor of water changes because of the minerals of that land. And I think we often underestimate uh, the flavor of water, which is very important. So one of the essential things about taste in the food actually is also developed because of the kind of water is there in the ingredient, and also what you're using in there as a stock. So it's very important to understand that part, that wherever you are in the world, the food is going to taste different. Maybe the way you were cooking all your life, you would cook exactly like that, but the flavor of water will make the taste vary.
I agree. So you grow your own vegetables.
I
Whenever.
do the weather allows, because the summer is pretty short-lived in this part of the world, and we got plenty of rain all the time. But still, last couple of years have been very fruitful. So we got lots and lots of. Year before, we got fantastic crop of tomatoes, potatoes every year. Potatoes and onions, you don't worry about it; it grows naturally here. Then this year we got fantastic crop of broccoli and cauliflower. There is still some Brussels sprouts in the garden, which I haven't picked them, so I must pick them, get them out.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tell
but
them.
lots of strawberry I got this year, which was again a big bonus.
Okay. So while everything is closed down, are you guys? I saw that you guys doing home deliveries, the food and everything.
So from the restaurant, yes, we are doing the home delivery. So out of 5 restaurants, we are running food delivery service from 4, because one restaurant where we are not running the food delivery from, it's inside a hotel, and the hotel itself is closed, so there's no way for us to access the restaurant, so we can't run. But other 4 restaurants are running the delivery service. Well, I just started. Actually, I started telling the world today. I've been pondering upon for quite some time, and me and my wife, we were talking about it, and kids got involved in that. So what we are trying to do is we will cook a meal for a family from our home, from this kitchen, and I'll blast chill it, backpack it. I purposely bought a backpack machine to do this job. And we just advertised it, said in social media that I would love to cook for people who are celebrating their birthdays or anniversaries or any special occasion. Just give us the order. I want a minimum price.
Do you ship to US?
Say again?
Do you ship to US?
I wish I could. I wish I could. The reason I'm doing it, Hannah, is to raise money for our NHS and Great Ormond Street Hospital. So I don't know how much you know about Great Ormond Street Hospital. It's a very specialist hospital for children, and it's one of its kind in the world. Lots of diseases which can be deemed or thought to be uncurable, somehow Great Ormond Street Hospital comes to cure it, and in children especially. So yeah, I absolutely adore that hospital. It's got a very special place in my heart, and I've done that for a very long time, and my family is also dedicated to that. So we have just told the world out that it's not cheap, because you're making my wife cook. I'm doing the pot wash and the cleaning, but mom and the kids will get together to cook the food, and we will ship it out to them within London at the moment. We'll see how it goes. We can't take more than 2 orders, otherwise our life will be consumed in that. So let's see. I've already got the first order.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. So we're looking forward to raise some money for it. And some people, there's so much love out there, and people have already started paying into my Just Giving account. I didn't ask for free money. I want to give food for it, but people have just started putting money in there without asking my services. I'm quite grateful. I don't know why they've done that, but very sweet of them.
For that or something?
Say again?
Do you have like a GoFundMe account for that?
Yes, it's called Just Giving / Atul Kochhar, and you will find it there. So,
okay. That's great. And how many books have you written?
I have written 5 books now, and I'm on to the 6th one. So one of the books which took a lot of time of mine was Curries of the World, because I researched across the globe that where all people use spices and how they were inducing spices into their food, because in my mind that qualifies to be called a curry. So I saw in Japan, China, whole of Southeast Asia, lots of Africa, Europe, quite a lot of Europe as well, and bits of America and South America.
People eat a lot of curries too.
Where? In States?
No, Caribbean people in Jamaica.
Yeah, massive. Because there's very large Indian population. So, and there is a place called Suriname, just off Venezuela. It used to be a Dutch colony, and a lot of Indians were taken there as laborers. So they eat a lot of curries, and then there is some influence from Caribbean into Brazil in a region called Bahia. They use a lot of spices in food, and pretty much like curries, but their way of putting spices in the food is very different to how you and me would put it.
I mean, it's like curries are sweet. They have this like sweet taste to their curries and all, right?
But just remember that they were taken into a land which was quite harsh, and they had to grow and use things which was available there to them, and they didn't have complete knowledge of agriculture. So kudos to them that their race survived, and they're still around to tell us the tales. So which is I take hats off to that, to be honest. So I think Caribbean food has a specific way of dealing with it. It can be very hot, it can be very sweet. The Scotch bonnet chili, if you touch it wrong way, then you will be repenting all day. So you got to remember that. And it's incredibly hot. You've tried it?
I remember when I went to South Africa, and I ordered Nando's there. I went to Nando's. Whenever I go anywhere, I just go to Nando's. That's actually my favorite chicken. So I ordered Nando's, and I want it hot. So they were like, "You want it hot?" I said, "Yes." I'm like, "Yeah, hot, right? We're Indians, we're Pakistanis, And when the chicken came, oh my God, that hot was like some other level.
Oh my God, I have a
Really
memory like that. there is a famous chef called David Thompson. He's Australian, but he cooks Thai food, but nobody can cook Thai food like him. He's the maestro. And his restaurant used to be in London, so that's how I befriended him. And then he wrapped up from here. He has restaurants in Sydney and Bangkok now. So a few years ago, I landed up. Second?
Is that the Blue Elephant Thai restaurant in London?
No. In London, his restaurant was called Nam. It was in Halkin Hotel. Beautiful place. Beautiful restaurant. And then it's shut now. He's gone back to, he lives between Bangkok and Sydney. And his restaurant in Bangkok is also called Nam, which means water in Thai. And he asked me that, what would you like to eat? I said, I'll eat anything what you cook. He said, you can have a hot, you're Indian. I said, I guess so. And he made me this jungle curry, a foul jungle curry. I had no idea that what was coming next. I kid you not. The moment I put first morsel in my mouth, all the nerves in my brain just seized. I just couldn't talk. There was a massive, it wasn't a kind of reaction, but the chili was so hot. It just burnt me out completely. I didn't eat any of it after that. So he had to cook me something different after that. So
must have cured this, right?
If there were any blocked cells in my mind, I think he opened it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It was really
Thai food is perfectly. I mean, Thai food is really good food.
Yeah, amazing food. Beautiful flavors. So growing up in India, I grew up on Indian food and Chinese food only, and Thai food came very late to India. And I had almost finished my training as a professional chef when Thai food came, and I trained in Thai kitchen in India, which was run by 4 or 5 Thai women. They never spoke a word of English, but they just knew what dish to cook when the order came through. And I was a trainee chef. I worked under them. Oh God, things I learned under them. Those ladies were just really special. So all I know about Thai food, whatever little I know, is because of those 5 amazing ladies. And I've been to Thailand many times. But I still keep mesmerizing about those flavors, but I haven't caught them yet. You were saying, Hina, second?
So working in the ladies' kitchen, did that help you get your Michelin star? That experience?
I guess so. I've always lived in a world dominated by women. So in my family, I had 4 older sisters. So I'm the 5th child in the family. So I knew my place. So there was no problem. And then I worked under several women boss. No problem. I have a woman partner in the business. Amazing person, guides me through to everything I need to know. And at home, there are 2 ladies and 2 boys. I've taught my son, let them do what they want to do. They are the bosses. You have to understand that's the way world works, and works the best when they take the decisions. So yeah, I'm always for it. And I've always been I've always sided with this thought that if you have more and more women in the workplace and in every sphere of life, the world will be a lot more balanced and world will run better. I've always believed that. My mom was a teacher, and she was the boss. My dad completely agreed that she's the boss, and that's how the world goes. So I know that that's the best way to do it, and I always stand with my women, to be honest. Let's put it this way.
Okay, so tell me, how did you become a chef? It's just back home, it's like mostly women are cooking in the kitchen, and
I come from a family which is a foodie family. My grandfather, who came from Ahmedabad to India, to Jamshedpur, was a baker, and they had family-run bakery there called BK Upal Bakery, and then my father was a self-taught chef. The grandfather I'm talking about, he's my nana, my mom's father. And then when my mother married my dad got screeched into cooking, and he kind of developed himself, and he had catering business. And I grew up looking at my nana and my dad conducting themselves so well. In an era when everybody wanted to be an engineer or a doctor, I decided to go to hotel school. I was laughed upon big time by my family as well. because they're all academics and doctors and engineers and whatnot. And some said you will peel onions all your life. Some said you will wash cup and plate. Bartan dhoega. That's what I was told. But I was quite okay with that. And I never looked back, to be honest. The moment I entered the college and I had my few sessions, few classes in the college, I exactly knew where I belong. I belonged to kitchen, and I was very comfortable in it. And I sailed through, and I trained. When I left my IHM Chennai, I'm very proud of that. I went to Oberoi School of Hotel Management. It's quite an elite school in India, I would say in the world, because they only take 12 students each year to train. I was very lucky to get selected and train with them. Worked with them for 5 years, and then I got headhunted to come and open a restaurant called Tamarind in London. I stayed with Tamarind almost 9 years. After year 5, I think we achieved the star, which was in 2001. We became the first Indian chef. I became the first Indian chef, and Tamarind became the first Indian restaurant to get a Michelin star. And then...
Yes, tell me. I want to know more.
Say again?
But tell me more. That whole Michelin star thing is just like so fascinating, and it's because I've seen lots of shows on TV and on Netflix, and then I see that chefs are working so hard and they're like going crazy, and their whole world is revolving around getting that one Michelin star, and there's like they're just their world turns upside down if they get it. It's like huge, it's like winning the World Cup in cricket.
It's like Oscars of culinary industry.
Or the World Cup in cricket.
Kind of. It's hard to get. Let's put it this way. You have to be consistent. You have to be true to your craft, and you have to look after people who come to you. That's very important. I think one thing which is quite mundane, quite boring, but quite important, and that word is consistency. So if you are, whatever you're doing, if you do it consistently well, you will get recognized. And if you're doing it well, then people will recognize you a lot better. And I think anybody who's trying to hone their craft, if they understand the word consistency, I don't see why they wouldn't land up with a Michelin star. So inconsistency is the one which will not get you a star. But the moment you become consistent and you know what you're doing and you do it well, I think you will get the star. And creativity, of course, you are in this field, you got to be creative to be able to survive and do well.
So, I've seen restaurant industry is very tough. It's very, very tough. There's so much pressure of so many things. And I've seen a lot of these big chefs, they become a little bitter with time and with all the pressures. So how do you keep your cool? I mean, how do you stay so happy and bubbly, or are you just like, I mean,
I think most of the chefs who you think they are angry people and they are bitter, they actually in real life they're not. They tend to be sweet and very family oriented, and they're quite loving as well, and they're good friends, and you can have a laugh with them. I guess they are super perfectionist, and they see world only in one way, and if it doesn't happen that way, they throw tantrums, or they throw all the toys out of the pram. That's the better word. So some people handle it better, some people know how to throw tantrum better. So I happen to be always one that, I had a very bad experience when I worked in Oberoi's in Delhi. I worked under a French chef who had a very bad tantrum. And I was working in the French kitchen training with him that time. And he asked me to prepare vegetables for the evening mise en place. And he went for a break. When he came back, I had prepared Brussels sprouts. And he asked me, what is that? I said, Brussels sprout. And that water in which the Brussels sprout was sitting was hot, but not boiling. He took that and poured it on my head. I didn't burn, but I got scalded a few places. And his anger was that Brussels sprout comes from Brussels. It doesn't come from France. And why you're putting that on this French plate? That was the point. I learned my lesson. Fair enough. I should have thought about it before him. But I also learned that I'm never going to lose my cool on people who work with me. I will always treat them with respect. If I have to tell them off, I will tell them off. But there's a humane way of doing it. And I've always maintained that. Sometimes people see you as a soft person, but you know what, Hina? I always got around to get what I wanted. Always. I never had to be bad to anyone to get the work done. And I've always maintained myself like that.
Kindness goes a long way.
Say again?
Kindness goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I also see people who get angry very fast and who lose their cool and they scream and shout. They burn very fast as well. They get burnt out. I want to have a very long inning and a good one. So I smile and there are mistakes on the way, no doubt about it. People might think I'm a bit slow to get things sometimes because I have a softer way of dealing with things, but I enjoy my way. I enjoy the human relation. I enjoy the mistakes. I enjoy uh, the the banter. I enjoy uh, sweat and tears and smiles and happiness. Sometimes we lose things, sometimes we gain things, and all those things come with time, to be honest. And I've always maintained that. So I'm quite happy where I am.
Yeah, but I must tell you that I have eaten food like everywhere. More, I mean, wherever I go, I mean, I actually Google the restaurants. The first thing I do is like I Google the best restaurants and I try to go there. So when I came to your restaurant, I had really high expectations, of course. And I mean, being a desi and eating desi food all my life, I had really, really high expectation. And when I ate your food, I mean, that was one of the best food meals of my life. I must tell you that that was one of the best meals of my life. Everything I ate was just perfect. I mean,
That's so sweet.
I mean,
But I still have to learn how to make biryani for you, though.
maybe when you come to Kansas one day, maybe I can teach you here.
Well, fantastic. I look forward to that. Now you've got yourself into it now. You're not getting away with it.
I'm looking forward to it. And any plans of opening up a restaurant in the US?
You know what? I do want to visit many times and come and see you guys as well and eat around US because there's such an amazing chefs in your country as well. But I think I'm done. I quite enjoy living in the UK, and I've kind of forced myself into it that I will not open any restaurant outside London. So in and around M25, which is a kind of periphery of London, and that's where I want to stay.
So I've actually seen your show, Million Pound Menu on Netflix. So,
Yes.
so you, I mean, that I really enjoy that show. Are you coming up with another season?
At the moment, no, there isn't any plans, but I feel and I hope that they will come out because I think that show has got legs and it's been loved world over.
So,
I get
great
fan
plan.
emails written in Spanish, which I don't understand, so I have to ask my daughter to translate it for me, which is so sweet. People from South America and Chile and Argentina, wherever they're watching, and they write to me. So it's beautiful. Yeah, it's that show I think is. Have you seen a program called Dragon's Den from the UK?
No.
So it's a Dragon's Den meets the restaurateur. That's what it is, to be honest. And it's Dragon's Den is a place where people go with ideas and pitch to these dragons who are very rich and wealthy and successful people, and see if they can make them their partners. So this was pretty much like that, but in the restaurant sense. And I thought it was very well executed, very well made.
Did you end up investing with someone from the show?
So I wanted to, and I almost did. Unfortunately, outside the TV show, it fell off because there were some legal hitches, and there were also some misunderstandings in terms of what they wanted and what as a financer I would want. And I think it's a matter of meeting the expectation. On the screen, I think the chemistry was quite amazing. But when it hits the reality, you have to see it in terms of legal boundings, whether you can work together for a long time to come or not. And I have had this view that if I'm not going to have longevity in the relation, I try to walk away from it because I make very few friends, and whosoever I make friends, I stay with them for all my life. That's my intention. So I had no intention of having a very shortcut business plan, make some money and say goodbye. I wasn't going to do that. And some of the programs, some of the investments fell on that, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I always wondered what happens to them after, the show is done and everything. Do they really get the investment? Do they really open up the restaurants? Because one or two people were really, really good. I mean, I really wanted to, that one guy who had that who was making Cajun food. I think he's still selling it from his house from London.
What's his name?
I don't know. I can't recall it now, but I'm gonna text it to you. So
Okay.
that food I really, really wanted to try. But when I went there, I think he opened up a store in Manchester, and then he started again from London. He was doing it from like a one-bedroom home. He was really making this shrimp and Cajun. It was Cajun kind of food. It was spicy. It was really good. It looked so nice that I really wanted it. But
I don't think he was on my show, to be honest. Maybe I wasn't in the investment group there, because the way you're describing, if he was doing the food like that, I would have definitely pitched for it.
And he was really good. And then there was one of the investors who never invested. Like nobody was good enough for him. I'm not gonna name
his standards would have been very high. I'm not gonna ask who he was.
He's everywhere. He wants to come, he wants to see, he wants to critique, and then I'll pass. I was like just one person. It was extremely, I don't know.
So the investment I would have made, and I think we would have enjoyed the journey very well, was the last series which I did in the series 2, the guy, husband and wife team, called Babaji Burgers. I think that would have been amazing, because their burgers were just amazing, to be honest, in every sense. But they, while talking to me, they got a great deal from a market owner called Camden Market, and he gave them everything for free. The restaurant was set up.
Wow.
There was long enough rent-free. So these guys were very honest and lovely people. And they said, Atul, we would love your name into it, but financially we don't need you, because we have been set up by these guys. And it'll be unfair on you if we didn't give you something out of it. And I don't know how you feel about it. And I looked at the whole situation. I said, look, guys, I'll be actually very pleased and happy if I could just mentor it. I don't need any shares. But you guys carry on and do the business. And they went on, and I kind of lost touch after a while with them. But sadly, I think COVID-19 kind of killed them, to be honest. It just didn't work out. The business didn't work out at that place, because it's a massively touristic place, and there's no tourism at the moment. So Camden Town Market, that's where they were, and it just didn't work out. So I'm very sad, but hopefully, you never know. After beyond COVID, I'll get in touch with them and see if they are keen to get set again. I might just land up opening burger shops with them. Who knows?
Yes, hopefully, yes. So what do you think about this chutney? Do you think it's done? It's just bubbling.
I think chutney is done. If you take it off the heat and let it cool, warm tamarind chutney never tastes good, so it has to come to the room temperature. So let it cool down, and it'll be fine then. The texture is beautiful.
Then I think you can use it in chaat and golgappas.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like it's quite nice and thick. When it cools down, it'll be even more thicker. That's what
this is kind of, I don't even know.
Yeah. Oh wow, yours is even thicker. Well done.
Some people actually use corn flour in their chutneys.
Yeah, some do to thicken it, but there's no need for it, because tamarind and sugar, it makes a great combination, and it's the right viscosity, right consistency. And it works incredibly well, because corn flour gives a kind of stickiness on your palate and mars the flavor. So I prefer not to add.
I have never done it, but I've seen recipes where they use corn flour. I'm like, corn flour is not gonna taste good in it. It's not a soup or something, like it's a chutney. It should have all the flavors coming out, and then the corn flour will just, I don't know.
I think it'll ruin it, in my opinion. I personally feel that there's no need for corn flour, especially tamarind has got such a wonderful character. You need to hone that rather than harness that, rather than add something as a thickener. And that's one of the reasons I prefer not to buy ready-made tamarind chutney from the markets, because they add different types of starches to extend the life and make the viscosity look good.
They also have too many.
If you make it at home, it tastes so much better.
They also use too many preservatives, which are not healthy.
Yes, absolutely. So, we don't know half of the things, to be honest, because they have complex scientific or industrial names. They might say E45 or E78, which we wouldn't know. Maybe Google it and find out. But then there's a lot to Google then. So it's best to, if you have time, make your own. And this chutney doesn't go bad, so it'll last for long for you.
So yeah, because Ramadan is coming and we eat of fried foods and chutneys, different kinds of chutneys. So this would be great addition for my, whatever chutneys I make. But I mean, I'm actually flexible. I don't really care. I don't even actually measure anything when I'm making my own chutneys. I'm like, I just keep on adding stuff and just enhancing flavors, and I'm good. So every time my chutney is different.
Absolutely. When is the Ramzan starting?
It's in April sometime.
Okay. Okay. So long days then.
Yes, long days, but it's fine. My kids, they're going, like my girls are going to school, but my son, he's in hybrid mode, and I think that's gonna stay like that. 2 days they go to school, 2 days it's online, so they're home most of the time, and I'm home all the time.
Yeah.
So it's okay, I guess.
Good stuff.
I try to eat healthy during Ramadan as well, because if you it's so easy to get all that weight on you after Ramadan if you're not careful, because when you open that fast, you are like you want to eat everything. But
yeah, I know. I totally understand, because your body is craving for it, and you actually are not thinking, and you're just feeding it. That's the problem.
More the oilier, the more cravings.
Yeah, it's that's why some of my family members always ask me this question, that why the tastiest food in the world is always considered dirty food. So I don't know, but it's true.
But your food, it had a balance. It was very well balanced. I mean, it had all the flavors without the extra fat or extra oils, or I don't know what you do, but I mean, whatever you are doing is just working so well. And I mean, I'm a big fan of you and your restaurant and your food, and the whole aesthetic of the restaurant was so pretty. I actually took a few pictures from the front, and that front, it looks amazing. It's beautiful, gorgeous.
Thank you so much. It's a dream project for me, to be honest. I inspired the cuisine from northeast of India, where India borders with Bhutan, China, Burma, and Bangladesh. So the cuisine is quite unique there. We use a lot of smoking, a lot of fermenting, a lot of raw food as well. So that craft is actually very little known under the umbrella of Indian cuisine. So when we started that restaurant, we were very new, and we were doing. When I put dumplings on the menu, and as you order dumplings, the chopsticks arrive. People look at you with question mark on their face that we are in an Indian restaurant. Why are you giving me chopsticks? But the truth is, that's how you eat dumplings, and in that part of the country, we eat dumplings with chopsticks. So it has taken a little bit of journey to get there, but people are absolutely loving us. So we got, especially during the lockdown, when we started doing takeaway, as people came to know, we have been given so much love at Kanishka. We actually won an award as Restaurant of the Year during the pandemic, which is quite remarkable. I didn't think that anything of that sort will ever happen, but I'm quite honored and quite pleased that team worked so hard to be able to stand on that pedestal.
That's true. I see those pictures all the time on your Instagram stories, those home deliveries. I'm like, oh my God, it's just I start drooling.
You live a bit far for us. One day maybe.
Way too far. That's why I want to come to London every summer. And last year I could not come. So this year I'm really hoping and wishing that everything goes back to normal, so I can come and spend my summer in London.
Here, easier still if you move to London.
We were actually thinking about it at one point, but everything is so small, and my kids are like, I don't think we can these small rooms and share rooms, and they're, it's like, it's nice, it's very nice, don't get me wrong, but a different lifestyle. Even though I would love, when I was in Pakistan, I never ever wanted to move to the US, honestly, and I always wanted to move to London. I'm like, London would be so nice, because London was like, it used to, like, it has that appeal.
The connection. We from that part of the world, we always have had connection with London. I think that's another appeal to us.
It is, but still at the same time, you get to get all the food. You walk everywhere. It's the whole vibe, that London vibe. I mean, even if you go to New York or Toronto, you don't get that vibe which you get in London. London is just like, after Karachi, I think London is probably my most favorite city in the world.
Fantastic. Hope I get to see Karachi one day.
Yes, you should. When I'm going, I'll ask you if you want to come with me.
I would love to.
And we'll go to all the dhabas and just keep on getting medicine every day, and then go to the dhaba. Your stomach up.
I think we are just approaching the end of it. I think that it's going to cut off. I just wanted to thank you for having me. It was lovely to see you again, and do hope to see you back in London soon, where I can cook proper biryani this time.
Yes.
Give my regards to your husband and love to your kids, and hope to see you all soon.
Thank you so much, Atul. Thank you for joining us, and it was lovely. We should do this again sometime.
Look forward to, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you before Ramadan anyway. But we must connect before that.
Before we go, so that I can tell everyone how it came out. A little hot, but really very good, Atul.
Glad you like it.
It's a little sweet. It has a little kick to it. Just perfect. Thank you, Atul.
Perfect.
Thank you so
Enjoy.
much.
Have a good day. Speak soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.